but I want to speak in front of you guys because WordPress is something that's been a part of me for 14 years and has given me more than I can ever give back. So I thought to myself, what would my favorite scientist do? Albert Einstein, theory of relativity, E equals mc squared. He said at one point in his time, we cannot solve problems with the kind of thinking we employed when we came up with them. So my dilemma was, in my own perspective, I'm not as successful as my friends in Mindanao. They're so rich. They talk to me about 50 million projects, 50 million peso projects, and they introduced me for me the first time that I've ever rubbed elbows with a certified billionaire. He owns a construction company here in Mindanao. So I was so nervous. I was so nervous because I felt that I did not belong in that group. But I guess they trust me because, as parumbado as as I look like a suspect. So if they trust me with that information, they must think, well, it's not gonna kidnap my son and ask for 1 million pesos, right? So I thought to myself, okay, let's change my mindset. These are not what I have, but these are my dreams today. I want to have millions in my bank. I want to have a big house on a ranch because we have a farm in Bukidnon. Hopefully someday we'll have a WordCamp there. Real WordCamp, WordPress, and then go camping. Just nature. And then I don't have off-road pickup trucks. All my friends have them. I'm probably the only one who doesn't. I have an old Mitsubishi Mirage G4, which I've been driving for 8 years. Takes me everywhere. So I don't have multiple businesses that I can run on its own with no little to no attention from me. Isn't that what we all want as businessmen? Like, we need to have multiple businesses, diversify, and just check the numbers. Oh, another 1 million in my bank. Okay, I think that's what we all have in our minds, so that we can live the life that we want. Where's this guy who spoke about that earlier? So, what is success for me? What success through WordPress means to me? So, as a former gaming addict, it meant I overcame addiction. I was addicted. Anyone who played Warcraft, Frozen Throne, Counter-Strike, okay, kaedad ko, mga tiguang, old people. Well, so during my high school 4th year, I skipped class for a total of 2 months. And then I came back and took the final exam. I failed, obviously. The only reason that I wasn't kicked out of the school was because I had my aunt was a teacher at that school, and I didn't make any troubles. I mean, how could I? I wasn't there. So, as someone who loves technology, it is using acquired knowledge to accomplish and experience things that I would not have otherwise if it were not for WordPress. So, like I said, I'm in debt with WordPress. If it wasn't for WordPress, I would have been a completely different person. I would still be an introvert though, maybe. So as an introvert, it's very hard for me to talk to you guys. And I'm not just saying I'm an introvert to be cool, right? It's so cool to be an introvert. It's a loner. There's actually a test on the internet, a psychological test. It's called 16 personalities, and you can take that test. And for some reason, 6 times I took that test, and I'm an introvert, which makes sense for me because I hate this. I really hate this, speaking in front of you guys. Well, except that people who I look up to are comedians, stand-up comedians from the US. Dave Chappelle, Joe Rogan, whoever, Chris Rock, Chris Tucker. And then lastly, it's going to places and meeting people I would not have met if not for WordPress. So that's another thing that I would, it would mean that I'm successful as a WordPress developer or a member of the community of WordPress. So let's change the title. I don't like the word success because I don't consider myself successful yet. Okay? So from gaming addict to developer, a WordPress story of treasured knowledge and hopeful dreams. Okay? That's what WordPress means to me. Maybe in a different universe, I would have been successful, but in this one, probably not. So, this is me. 15 to 23 years ago, I barely graduated high school, and then I dropped out of college. I worked at call centers. I didn't last, because I don't know what happened. I forgot, but some of them closed. And then 2009, I discovered WordPress. A guy from a different school told me, visit my blog, cheapsportscar.info, so I can earn dollars. So I was like, how can you earn dollars? You're not even graduated yet. You haven't graduated. And I know I'm better at you in terms of coding or, design. But this guy was smart, unlike anything that I've ever seen. So he was earning dollars from Google Ads. And this blog just publishes articles about cheap sports cars, right? And he doesn't even own one. So I was like, wow, amazing. I'm gonna visit his blog. So I visited his blog, and then lo and behold, I was amazed at what it can do. You can search for any topic there. And as someone who was studying to be a web developer that time, before I dropped out, I was amazed. How can he do that? You need to code that in PHP. For those who are developers here, you know what I'm talking about. But WordPress, because of WordPress, you no longer have to code that. You just have to install a plugin, right? And then I started studying WordPress. And then I published my first blog, right? And then that was 2010, July 1st. This was after I published my first blog. I was recommended by my school teachers to their boss, who by that time were already working part-time as an online worker, while they're teaching at our school. And so this is my first ever pay, $50 to work 10 hours a week building a WordPress website. Back then, there was no responsive, view, mobile. We don't have smartphones yet back then. So that's how old I am. And, until now, I still go back to this because it gives me, it allows me to look back and see how far I've come instead of, trying to feel bad about, all the money that I've lost from, probably partying a lot. And then, well, here's what I learned because of WordPress. For me, knowledge is much more important than, any superficial thing in this world. Because, by the way, when I learned that I was going to speak here, I was actually watching Don't Look Up. Has anyone seen that movie? Leonardo DiCaprio? Don't Look Up. Movie geek. A movie geek. Okay, go. So basically, it's a end of the world movie. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked here. ADHD. Can you tell that I'm very ADHD? Like I can't focus. Anyways, what I learned about WordPress, right? So I value knowledge a lot. HTML and CSS. I didn't learn to code PHP actually. Only the basic. Like I tried to learn it, but I didn't want to because although psychology tells me that I'm a logical and thinker, logical person and thinker, INTP. In my heart, I wanted to be a creative person. So my time was spent more on design. So I started studying the fundamentals of design, colors, shapes, lines, patterns, shadows, spacing, typography, all of that. And then UX design. So basically, you're making sure that your design is made for the user. Whatever you need to guide the user on your website and persuade that person to do something, and make sure that everything that he or she is looking for is on that website, easily accessed. So that's UX design, user experience design. And then branding. I learned branding just recently, probably 2-3 years ago, and learned that a logo and a trademark is not the brand. A visual identity design is not the brand. A branding guideline is not the brand. What the brand is a person's gut feeling about a product, a service, or a company. So it's the other way around. Like, whatever your customer feels about your brand, whether it's a personal brand, whether it's a business brand, it's that person's perception that makes the brand. And then he or she connects with other people who looks at your brand that way, in concept, in idea, and that is when a community is built. Same way as how we built this community in WordPress. Because for me, because I'm an introvert, I never really joined things like this. Being part of a community is very hard for me to do, and I have friends who I'm still friends for like the last 20 years. But it's very important to become part of something. And for us in WordPress, it's our love for the platform. And then I learned writing because, WordPress was originally built for blog. So I started writing, and, because I really, I'm a big fan of US culture, pop culture. So I usually just, watch movies, watch television shows, watch podcasts like Joe Rogan, all those science shows, and because I felt like my thoughts are getting processed and getting conjured into reality, like tangible reality, just like the first cavemen who learned how to write on walls, which eventually fueled our ability to document our thoughts. So without them, or without writing, this would never exist. Like, any technology after that needs to give that's the grandparent of all technology, writing. Then I learned basic on-page SEO, how to use SEMrush, research, keywords, Google Business Profile, location, service pages, content publishing, all those, trying to give signals to the search engine that your website should be on top of the rankings. And then I learned basic video editing because I've been, lately I started to publish content on social media and on YouTube. So, segue, follow mo sa kuha para malay mo, mabutog 1 million akong kuhan di. Inom din ta, di ba? So, I learned Premiere, Adobe Premiere, and Canva. Thanks to WordPress again. And I also learned how to do Facebook marketing from my mentors. And this guy, they're both named Ruel. This one with the E and this one with the I. And these guys are, I tell you, geniuses at what they do, which is Facebook marketing. So go ahead and follow them. I met this guy in Manila because I also attended WordCamp Manila last year. He wasn't a part of it, but they were friends, so I tagged along before we hit the road to go back to Cagayan de Oro. And we had a great time. Syempre, karaoke. You can't have a Filipino get-together without karaoke, which reminds me, after, where is the after party? Okay. Let's get drunk. So, and then, of course, I learned to break out of my introverted shell and attend WordCamps. And for less than a year, I'm now a speaker, grabbing the attention of all of you, which makes me terrified and excited at the same time. Here we are. Here's my friends. Dan, where's Dan? Dan over there. There's Pi, everyone, JC, so Dread. So, thank you for making me feel very welcome here sa community. And then, of course, I learned to speak in front of strangers like you. We actually started a WordPress meetup here in Cagayan de Oro. So if anyone here is from Cagayan de Oro, go ahead and join us. And what else? Oh, I learned how to make strangers listen to what I got to say. And I feel that in a world where social media, people are trying to make other people see them, grabbing their attention, doing God knows what. boy pagsik or boy, suntukan na, tapos kakain ng kung ano-ano, di ba? So, I think it's much more important for people to talk, to write, and hopefully people will listen to your thoughts rather than just being, funny for whatever reason they think it's funny. Yeah. So we can spark meaningful conversations like this. Now my ADHD energy is going low. So, one thing that I do remember is one of my friends told me that, hey, John, you're now a technologist. I was like, what? What kind of technologist? I guess information technologist. And I think ultimately that's what all of this is. Like, ultimately, technology's goal is to make the world fair play, and if you do not harness it as a business or as a person or whatever, as a WordPress developer, you are at the disadvantage. And so, with that, I'd like to, I guess, I have to show you the people that I met, right? That won't be complete. Like, I have to brag something, brag about something. So, I was backstage attendee of T5. So I met all these rock stars. Parokyan Edgar, Megadeth. This guy I met at the airport, trying to catch the midnight train towards anywhere. And then si Lolo, right? I met him in Siargao. He actually tried to ask me to. He actually asked me to join him and grab a drink and get drunk together, but I was too shy. I was too starstruck. If you do not know this guy, what's your name, sir? Hey, yeah, white guy. What's the name? Do you know this guy? No? Okay, that's an actor. That's a Filipino actor. Trees that they planted died. So I learned that pine trees are the most resilient tree when it comes to bare land. I have my friends. So that's the pine tree. Probably 2 years ago, it started this small, right? Those are my friends. That's where the next WordCamp will be in the future. So thank you for listening to my talk. And lastly, is this one connected to the audio, like the slides? Because there's a audio diha sa slide, maganda pwede i-play. PDF? You use the PDF, not the... Okay. Not the Canva. There's no Canva. There's a Canva link somewhere. Anyways, thank you. I was supposed to let you hear an AI song that I prompted AI to use dedicated to WordPress, but you can find that in my Facebook page or my YouTube channel anyways. Thank you.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Sir John.
The speaker kanina, are you in any way related to Demi? No?
Hello, boss.
Uy, bossing!
My question for you is, you don't really unlearn being a gaming addict. It will always be with you. Pero, unsa pa imong mga ginadula ng mga
Ah,
games aside what
The
you
last
mentioned,
game nga
Tito
na-addict
games?
ko by Diablo Resurrection. Yeah. I almost got fired from that shit.
So my question is, what's your favorite video game ever? Of all time.
Frozen Throne. Warcraft. Yeah.
Hala, uy, kami, kajablo mi diri. Woo! Yeah, I
Ila ta,
also-
dula na. Di na tama inom. Dula
No, no,
na.
no. Yeah, I current kay ning kung PUBG. Okay. Anyways, who else? Na question for our speaker.
Sulungon tika dito.
Okay, do you have any other question? Or napan kanagahan mo ask questions for Sir John? Okay, yes, we have a question right here.
Sir, ayaw sir. Bata pa,
Yes, John,
Sir.
what will you be singing for karaoke later tonight?
What's your favorite song now?
No, I
Do you want Beatles? Do you know any Beatles song? Or Rolling
Like-
Stones?
Your song. What are you gonna sing?
Okay. I'll surprise you. Where are you from?
Talisay.
Talisay? Cebu? Bisaya? Hindi.
Well, my house is there. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Okay.
No,
All right.
I'm an American.
All right, man. You know, yeah, I love the U.S. Music. So
thank you.
we'll find something.
Okay.
All right.
Fantastic, thank you. Oh, yeah, we have another question right here. Okay.
Thanks.
I'm just curious. Aside from
Yes.
you're using WordPress, right, for your leads. Aside from WordPress, what kind of platform do you use?
Facebook ads. Facebook ads and I guess Google SEO. Problem is here in the Philippines, most people use Facebook to search for something rather than Google. Let's just be, unless Google Maps. Google Maps. So you still need to have a Google business profile, right? Yeah, but it's good, technology, if you're ahead of your competitors, then you're in a good place. So invest in SEO as well.
Okay, thank you.
All right, do we have another question? Okay, wait. Wait. Okay. Sige. What is your question, madam?
Sir,
Ay, hi.
maayong hapon.
Maayong hapon.
As aspiring mga web developers, what can you recommend as mga avenues to start where, because it's very broad. Daghan kay kag mga na-mention
yeah.
kanina na mga
I guess it really depends on your strengths. Like, you can be a WordPress developer even without learning how to code PHP and JavaScript. Because that's the ultimate goal of WordPress, to make it easier for the average person to build a website. So if you're into coding, then go and learn PHP, JavaScript, all those technical stuff. But if you're more of a creative person like me, you can learn UX design, web design, graphic design. Like, it's still the same thing. It's basically just a different medium. Print and, web is for the browser. Yeah, so I guess you need to, know what your strengths are or what you're passionate about first. Yeah.
things.
Hi, sir.
Hello, ma'am.
Aside from WordPress, have you also tried another website builder platform?
Yeah, Duda, Wix.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it, would you choose another website builder aside from WordPress? Like, what do you recommend, or what's your, most favorite website builder to use when building a website?
Outside of WordPress? Aside from
Aside,
WordPress? I'm very sa WordPress because of you know of its, I guess, it's very what's the word? Help me out here, po. Yung anong tawag dyan?
Very user friendly.
User friendly, and at the same time it's open source.
Yeah.
And you can find if your problem is the page builder, there's Elementor Pro, there's DV Builder to make it easier. Because the blocks and Gutenberg is fairly complicated for a person who's still learning. So go and try DV Builder or Elementor Pro.